Well, you think of the hard rocker lifestyle and it's dangerous, but you don't think of falling off the stage.
Man,
Wow.
ouch.
You know, and part of that, he was spotted apparently by paparazzi in LA, and he had his arm in a sling. And
Well, that was a pretty good
At least he
fall.
was walking around, though.
yeah, but you've got to worry. You fall off a stage of that height, if you land on your head, you can suffer a severe concussion.
Or worse.
Margaritaville.com, which is his website, he has a video on there, and he seems to be okay. He does kind of point to his head on there, indicating that maybe he had hit his head a little bit. He just doesn't really say much about it, but he takes his hat off. And
Oh, man.
that's the scary thing about head injuries, though, is that especially when you have a child and a toddler, because they're, you know, when they're learning to walk and, you know, they run into things, and I'm always worried about that. And
Well, I get a lot of calls.
wanting my
middle of
free
the
medical
night.
advice here.
Yeah, I get a lot of calls from parents. You know, my child just fell off the bed or fell off the couch and he hit his head, and
When do you
now
have to worry?
right. You know, when do they? You know, and usually it's if they're not acting normal. Most kids will fall off something. A minute later, they're running around, acting normal, eating, drinking, and everything's fine. But you kind of you just watch them because you usually know your child pretty well, and if they're just acting funny, they're just maybe not quite as aware as usual, then time to get them checked out.
But I'm glad you asked that question about kids, because a lot of times parents will bring their kids into the emergency department and they just don't know. But other rockers are hurting themselves.
Steven Tyler recently came forward, and we're talking about a spill that he took back in 2009, but only now did he admit that that fall that he sustained, that you see in this picture, was related to, get this, snorting Lunesta, which is a sleeping pill that he combined with drinking probably. And
Snorting it?
well, he said he had been doing Lunesta because he had had some
Yeah.
feet problems, and so I guess
and
he was
that
having
was
trouble
one of the,
sleeping.
so you know the
Yeah.
story, and he said that this was one of the few things that really helped him with the problems that he was having following this fall. But he dislocated, tore his shoulder, injured his head that required stitches as well. So you really should never mix pain pills like Percodan, Percocet, Vicodin, those kind of things, sleeping pills, Valium, and alcohol, because that will really get you into trouble.
Well, we
Taking
know
a-
the biggest story about the sleeping problems
you're
is
going.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
I mean, and he had, I mean, that was, the story started, he was trying to get medication for
Just to
sleeping.
get some sleep, and that turned it out.